I want to be there, and I won't be there. So it's tough. I hope when our guys watch MSI from home, they realize how bad they want to be at MSI. I hope they take it away and say, wow, man, I wish that was us up there. I wish that was our team.
We are a pretty up and down team, and so when we do win, it's very apparent that we're super excited and we're just happy and our moods are really good. But when we start losing maps, anyone can tell that the mindset and just the faces of all the players, it kind of deteriorates. A lot of people notice that we're a very inconsistent team regarding being highly energetic and then having no energy at all.
Obviously, there's a big energy shift from winning and losing. We're a very momentum-based team, a very emotional team. So the highs are highs and the lows are lows. And to balance that, I'm not really 100% sure which step we should take. But we do get a little too excited and a little too down for both scenarios. So.
And when I walk into the room, it's kind of that same feeling. You can feel it. Like in our Renegades match, we were up 3-0, and everyone was happy. Everyone was pretty confident. I don't think they were too overzealous or overconfident. But then when I walked into the room, when we were down 0-3 to SSG, I knew that no one was really talking. No one was really looking at each other, right? I feel like their moods don't get too negative. It's just to the point where habitually they don't realize in that time that they're not, the energy's getting lower and lower, right? I think the most important thing is that whether we're up 3-0 or whether we're down 0-3, the players need to be getting up and walking around and either stretching and making eye contact with each other and looking at each other and telling each other what we need to do and to we need to start respecting each other more and respecting to our to your teammates' plays and their calling and their communication.
Start off, what worked so well for you guys today? It's been sort of an up and down start, but there are a lot of games where you guys just
as a team
so well.
This past week in scrims, we focused a lot less on things down to the individual, what we can do better mechanically, and we just grew as friends and teammates. As a leader, I've always tried to look at the wrong thing, I think, in terms of what are we doing wrong? Why are we collapsing? Why are other teams just barely coming out ahead of us? And I realized that we just aren't on the same page at the same time. I focus a lot less on improving myself and just getting everyone together. We're just doing more team exercises. We're doing more team VOD reviews. We're going harder than we've ever went. And it feels good to win. It feels so good.
And so, I think it's definitely gotten better throughout the split. I think when we, I think over time we've gotten better, and I've gotten better at telling them that we need to keep our spirits high throughout the whole series. If we're down 2 maps, if we're down 3 maps, the series is not over. We can come back. It's going to be hard, but we know what we have to do to, make a comeback. And that won't happen unless our mentality and our attitudes and our energy is just higher than it needs to be, right? So I think on that front, they've gotten a lot better at it. But losing's always hard, right? And especially if you lose a map that's super close. I think our energy is actually it's much lower when we lose a map that's super close. If it just goes down to the final fight on a 3-3, I think that's when we get kind of more upset with ourselves, because when you lose a super close fight in a super close map, you start realizing oh, if I did this one small thing differently, we could have taken the map, and we could have been up 1-1 or 1-0, stuff like that. So I think to them, it gets more in their heads instead of when we get blown out. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, but I think overall, just in the grand scheme of things, they've gotten so much better at keeping their mentality high.